Hey everybody, welcome to the Community Arts Council podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Seth Winters.
And I'm your other host, Gordon Fishman.
Welcome everybody. We welcome you here today, don't we?
Oh my gosh.
With open arms,
Open hearts.
outstretched, hands outstretched, arms outstretched. We're wide open, baby. Come on in.
Come on in. We're here at the Enclave Coffee House, as usual.
Cleveland, Ohio, baby.
Cleveland, Ohio.
We're live.
We're live. We got a small little audience here. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Everybody's looking happy. Thanks everybody for coming. People are getting optimistic because it's finally like we're able to start drinking a little bit of sweet tea because things have begun to thaw around here.
Yeah, that's right. I saw flour on my way in.
Yeah. The
And
thaw has begun.
No more winter, please.
No more
I'm glad
winter.
it's over.
Yeah, right?
No more snow.
No more snow, please, God no. But coming up soon, it's going to be sunny again, so people have that little glimmer in their eye.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
like to see the glimmer, don't we?
We love a glimmer in the eye. You and I have always talked about how we like that.
We like the glimmer, yeah. It's great to see the glimmer.
I love it. Trust me, I know.
And with this special season, this little soggy season we have, it's baseball season.
It's baseball
So
season.
that's exciting. People
Baseball's
are getting back out
back.
there. You can hear the crack of the ball against the bat, you know. And,
That's right.
I hear the yells from coaches in the distant, you know, the park nearby my house telling kids to dig, 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 you know,
Oh, yeah.
and get after it.
That's right. You see lots of
hit
dads.
a home run and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. You see lots of dads having a catch with their boys and their girls.
It's great to see that.
Moms are out there too. Everybody's out there.
Everybody's out there having a catch. Everybody loves baseball. And I know specifically you have always had somewhat of a fantasy or a dream about becoming an umpire.
Yeah, it's been a dream of mine since I was a young lad to one day be an umpire. It's just been a dream I've had. I never wanted to be a player. I never wanted to be a coach.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to be an umpire.
And so this is a very special episode because you've done a field report, right?
I did a field report.
It's been a while since we've done one of these field reports. I always look forward to them. There's always some little nugget buried deep in there, and you always manage to uncover that nugget and expose it and just get to the core of it all. And I'm hoping that's what's going to happen here. But where did you go?
Well, first of all, thank you for the amazing compliment. It never gets old hearing compliments. So.
Well, sorry I came off that way, but
Moving on, let me tell you what I did. So I went to, are you ready for this?
I asked, so yeah.
I went and spent a weekend at Rudy Muzichenko's All-Star Umpire Fantasy Camp.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Say what? Say that again.
I said Rudy Muzichenko's All-Star Umpire Fantasy Camp.
Rudy Muzichenko's
All-Star Umpire Fantasy Camp. That's right.
Wow.
It was a life-changing weekend.
Wow. What
Yeah.
a name that is. Rudy Muzichenko.
Rudy Muzichenko, he's the CEO, he's the boss, he's the everything. He started this camp. He's a former umpire. He started this camp, and it trains you to be a major league umpire. You get guys from all over the world come there. It's a one-month program that teaches you how to become an umpire. I, for this report, got sort of the condensed version over a weekend.
Okay, good. Phew, we're going to say, I don't know if we have time for a whole month.
Yeah, tell me about it. But let me tell you something. It was intense. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to give too much away.
Don't spoil too much.
Yeah.
I don't really know what could go in. I suppose there's more to the whole umpire thing than I know.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't. I never heard of any kind of umpire fantasy camp, but
Yeah.
that's why we have you to go do this kind of stuff to uncover, because it's stuff that nobody has ever known about or wants to know about. But you go there and figure that you do it.
Well, yeah.
And so, thank you for that.
Oh,
add that onto the list of compliments.
You're welcome. Yes, you're welcome. I never get used to saying you're welcome to you because you thank me for so much. I do so much.
Well, that's the kind of guy I am.
But this camp, I'll tell you, it was a life-changing experience. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. It was not my first choice of fantasy camps.
This specific camp?
Yeah.
There are several, huh?
Trust me, there's a lot. I know a lot about the business now, and there's a lot of umpire training camps.
I never would have thought that would have been a thing.
There
would have been a lot of them.
Seems
like
no, there is. Trust me. I know more about it than you. But most of the ones I contacted, all of the ones I contacted actually said buzz off.
Is that right?
Multiple ones actually use the exact
told you to
phrase
buzz
buzz
off?
off. Yeah, trust me. Umpires you'll see.
Don't give away too much.
Yeah, I know.
Now, I'm just curious. So this is like an edited down version of your 3 days there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have to
it's
experience. So you just did all this for me. I can just basically see what your whole experience was like.
Right.
And I don't really I just have to sit here and listen. I don't have to go through any of it like you did.
No. Yeah, you don't. It's not. It's not 72
right?
hours long. It's
Okay.
been edited. And
Great.
do you understand how radio works? Or
Well, we do this live show.
yeah.
And I just thought, I'm supposed to get home. The wife's making dinner tonight. I'm supposed to get home for dinner, so I can't spend a whole weekend listening to the audio.
It's been edited.
Listen, we do this podcast here. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
We just come here and turn the mics on and record.
Right. We don't usually do.
We don't know if this
pieces
is
like
gonna
this.
work. Yeah.
Well, it is, but you don't know if it's gonna work. But it is.
I have a
So-
I do have a mixing degree from DeVry, but besides that,
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear this, and you say it was a life-changing. You look like maybe you lost 20 pounds too, and so I'm excited to hear what that's all about.
I did. I lost almost exactly 20 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
And by the end of
just a weekend, that doesn't seem healthy.
Well, by the end of listening to this piece, you'll understand.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
All right. Well, let's just launch right into it then. This is where was it at again?
So this was my trip to Rudy Muzichenko's All-Star Umpire Fantasy Camp.
Wow. And we're gonna where is that located at?
It's in Avon.
Isn't it in Lorraine?
Yeah, Lorain County. Does everybody here know where Lorain is?
This guy's shaking his hand in the air. Oh wait, he's just looking for who has the bathroom key. Actually.
Yeah, I think she has it over there, sir.
Yeah, she's got it there. This woman here with the brooch.
But it's in Lorain.
There's nothing dirtier than the bathroom key. Am I right?
Oh my God, the germs on that thing must be.
Everybody has to touch it.
Yeah.
Both before and after.
Yeah. So there's lots of.
I just wanted to say that.
There's lots of bathroom
You should
stuff.
do a report about that.
Yeah.
Next time, just bank it, put it in the. I'd like to hear that.
Oh yeah.
So if you can make that happen for me, I'd rather not have to investigate that myself. Rather have you do it for me.
I'm on it. I'll do an investigative. It'll be like Geraldo getting in there with that.
Okay, so the live field report. I'm excited to hear it. This is an umpire fantasy camp. You living out your dream to be a major league pro umpire. Let's see if you got what it takes.
That's right. And after hearing this, you might think twice about your dream. Okay?
Seems ominous. Go ahead and take out that little cassette you have. You have a little cassette there. You're about to play it back on.
Yeah,
that?
I brought a little cassette recorder.
Okay,
and,
you want to plug it into the aux cable here. And
the audio on this thing isn't great, so everybody in here just try to cut the chatter and listen in.
Yeah, everybody just shut up and pay attention now. Okay? Put your fucking shit down and pay attention. Okay? All right. Go ahead and play the tape. Go ahead and cue it up.
My finger is coming down on the play button right now. I'm walking into the camp here.
Everybody over here, load up over here.
Oh, okay.
Sign-ins over here.
I walked into the camp with a smile on my face, ready for whatever was in store. The premises looked a little grimy, but I didn't care. I was ready to be a professional ump. Okay, the Umpire Fantasy Camp, it looks like it's wedged right in between a small junior high school and an airport, just with like one little landing strip. As I walked forward, a giant man lurched over me. He was unkempt and frightening. Turns out it was the man I had talked to on the phone, the one and only Rex the Face Mask Barducci, one of the umpire counselors for the weekend.
We talked on the phone. We talked on the phone. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Umpire Fantasy Camp. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much for meeting me. This is great. Okay, so sign in. I sign in.
There's sign-in seats against the back wall here. Go ahead and sign in.
Okay.
Grab a sign-in seat, and you can check in and get your seats for your beds and your dietary preferences.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's all against the back wall over here. It's all against the back wall.
Okay, thank you so much. Everyone was motioning towards the back wall, where the sign-up sheets were located.
Hey, is this the Umpire Fantasy Camp here?
Yeah.
Wow. Here it is. I can't believe I'm actually here. Whoa, yeah, cool. All right, yeah.
I met my first camp friend. He told me his name was Julio, and I believed him. He had a spring in his step and a glimmer in his eye. His dreams were as big as his heart. Little did I know, I would see all of that come crumbling down right in front of my eyes. But that's a story for later.
Yeah, I'm a camper. Yeah, this is my fourth time doing the camp. Yeah.
Your fourth time?
Fourth time doing the camp. Yeah, I've been working my way up through the instructional leagues. Been calling balls and steaks over in the instructional league, and it's been great. And I feel like this has helped me really become a better umpire. Be coming here for 4 times in a row. Yeah, it's been nice. Yeah, it's been real nice.
Well, great. I'm looking forward to it myself. And
you should be.
All in all, there were about 50 campers ready to start learning about being an umpire.
Yeah, how do you do it?
After I signed all of my sign-in sheets, I was handed a big brown paper bag full of linens.
Bedtime 30 minutes. Bedtime 30 minutes.
Excuse me, sir?
Bedtime's in 30 minutes.
Bedtime is in 30 minutes? It's like 5:30 p.m.
Sign-in sheets are against the wall. Bedtime's in 30 minutes. Gruel will be served in 15 minutes.
How many sign-in sheets?
Gruel will be served in 15 minutes.
Wait, can I talk to you for a moment, sir? Before we made our way to our sleeping quarters, I finally got a look at the camp's fearless leader, Rudy Muzichenko. Did you say gruel? He stood on top of an old box of rosin bags and laid out the ground rules for the camp.
Greetings to young and old. Welcome to Muzichenko's All-Star Umpire Fantasy Camp. It's my pleasure to have everybody here today. I just want to go over a couple really small things. Get everybody on their way, packed and ready, get everybody tucked in their beds. You guys came here because you guys want to be umpires. Am I right?
Rudy is in his early 70s. He looks a lot like Popeye, except much uglier. Warts pepper his face. As the instructions went on, they got more and more intense. I was starting to get worried.
Every time you use the restroom, you have to be out in the open. If you're going to use the toilet, everybody's going to watch you use the toilet. We got a small staff of umpires. We got Randy Squeebs.
Okay, so right now I'm looking at all of Rudy's counselors, all the other umpires that are going to be teaching us this weekend. What do we got here? It's Randy Squeeps, Bunt Martinez. They're all actually wearing huge placards around their neck with their names embroidered very large, so we all know their names. There's Slim Teschner, Rex, the face mask, Marducci. There's one that just says the judge, and then there's another one that says, it just says white man. I don't know what that means either. It just says the white man.
One of the last things we do here every first day of camp is we cleanse everybody here in the camp. Everybody strips down naked at this time. We're going to hose everybody down and powder everybody down. Then we're going to eat our gruel, and we're going to go straight to bed. We got a long day tomorrow.
Rudy informed us that we all had to get naked. Everyone was confused by this. I, for one, didn't really want to get naked. We all wondered why this was even happening. I assumed the answer was soon to come. But we never really got an answer.
Go ahead, everybody get naked at this time. Strip down to your bare bodies. Bunt Martinez is going to be working the hose, and Randy Squeebs is going to be powdering everybody.
I'm standing next to all the other campers here, and I guess it's time for us to get naked and get powdered here, so we're all taking off my pants. My trembling hands began to gingerly remove my trousers, revealing my pale, naked flesh. The last time my pale, naked flesh saw this much action was when my co-host Seth Winters pantsed me at a fish fry. Okay, they're basically herding all of us campers around, kind of like sheep right now. We're all just kind of walking. It's time for us to get hosed down, I guess. Everyone looks very scared. There's a couple men who are just flat out crying, just flat out weeping. Unbuttoning my shirt. Wow. Okay, now I'm just standing in a big group of about 50 naked men in the middle of a baseball diamond, and okay, the judge looks like he's turning on the hose right now, and oh my god. The freezing cold water hit my pale, naked flesh, and goosebumps shot up my body. It was starting to set in that this was all very real. Very, 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 very real. We're all just basically just covering our penises with our hands as to not see each other's penises, but it's kind of hard not to. We're just kind of standing here naked. My pale, naked flesh was made even more pale because of the white powdered soap orbs that were being chucked at me by Randy Squeebs. Okay, the hose is off now, and many of us are still covered in powder. Are there towels? Can we have a towel? Ugh, we're freezing. This is cold. I was born anew into the fantasy camp, and there was no looking back. I would never see my clothes again after this moment. I wish I hadn't worn my favorite outfit, a bum equipment silk blouse and pleated khaki slacks. Being taken into
This way. Get pennies. Get your pennies this way. Pennies this way.
There's a sign that just says pennies this way, and also one of the umpires is also saying pennies this way. It seems redundant. Now a penny is, in case you don't know what a penny is it's kind of just like a small mesh tank top that kind of leaves your midriff showing. I actually know all this right now because I'm reading this placard that just says the history of pennies. Penny is spelled P-I-N-N-I-E. Penny. There's wherever you look here, there seems to be there's an informational placard. There's a placard here just about Bunt Martinez, one of the counselors, and it says he was a Major League umpire from 1970 to 1977. He was honorably discharged from the Major League umpires because Darryl Strawberry bit him. So they had to let him go, but it was sort of like an honorable discharge, I guess. Up until this point in my life, I could count the number of informational placards I have read on one hand. After this weekend, I would need at least 10 more sets of hands to keep track. What I'm trying to say is that there was a shitload of informational placards.
What color penny you want?
I'll take a red one. Even though this new penny barely covered my pale naked body and was very coarse and uncomfortable, I welcomed it onto my torso with the hopes it would break in. Okay, so now we're in the cafeteria barrack, and we're all in line here, still naked and wearing a penny, all of us. And this is basically the gruel line. There's one of the umpires doling out small bowls of gruel, small styrofoam bowls. Okay.
Take a gruel. Take some gruel. Sit down. Take some gruel and sit down. Goddammit.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I have my bowl of gruel here, and I'm just not very hungry because we had some pizza before, but I guess they want to get us on a gruel regimen. I don't know. That's what I overheard one of them say. Okay, I'm eating it. Oh, God. There's basically no taste to it. It's just a sort of a greenish-brown slop. It just sort of tastes like grass, really. And again, we're all naked, completely naked, except for a penny that just stops right before your belly button. I'm just looking around on people's faces, and you can kind of, the look on their faces is one of pure terror. Like, what have we gotten ourselves into? I choked down the horrible bowl of gruel while wondering where my $3,000 admission fee was being spent. I couldn't think for long, because we were all forced out of the cafeteria and herded like sheep into the sleeping quarters. The sun was still up, but it was time for bed. It's lights out. One of the umpires just came in and turned off the lights, and we're all just lying in our beds, in our bunks. It's completely silent in here, except for the sound of my voice recording this right now. You can hear a pin drop in here. I think we're all just kind of scared. The barracks were windowless and made of concrete. I heard another camper mention that the space doubled as a meat locker. While shivering, I had the horrible realization that the linens I was given seemed to be made out of old paper. They offered no insulation. I have my dot matrix printer blanket curled up on top of me, and it's very, very cold. This is not really a blanket. It's, like I said, it's dot matrix printer paper taped together. It's very, very cold in here. I wonder if I can use some of my Umpire bucks to buy a better blanket. Oh, by the way, there's these things called Umpire bucks. It's basically just a form of currency that they use here. It's called Umpire bucks. Okay, so it's very hard for me to put into words what Umpire bucks are. It's very complex and took me a long time to understand. In basic terms, an Umpire buck is $1 American, but instead of being called a dollar, it's called an Umpire buck. That's the best explanation I can give. Hey, Julio, you awake? Julio, you awake?
Hey, man.
I decided to call upon my friend Julio, who I had met earlier that day. I put my pale, naked body against the cold concrete floor and army crawled over to his bunk.
What's up, man?
Sorry to wake you up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up, man?
I was just wondering.
It's real. Whoa, man. It's so quiet in here.
I know, isn't it?
How can I help you?
I'm looking to get a better blanket. You know where I can get a better blanket?
Oh, a better blanket. Oh, God, jeez, a better blanket. Yeah, wow, a better blanket. Okay. Yeah, I do.
Well, I'd love for you to tell me, because this blanket I got here isn't even really a blanket. Like I said before, by myself, it's just dot matrix printer paper taped together.
In my 4 years of coming here, I have a backup plan. Okay, basically, yeah, I have a backup plan. So what, like I said, so what I do is I have a blanket that I brace. I have a blanket. Are you cool?
Yeah, man, I'm cool. I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Okay, well, I got a blanket that I keep. It's under my bed. Yeah, it's under my bed. Mm-hmm. It's 100% performance fleece, and it's under my bed right now. I got some scotch tape to the underside of my mattress right now.
Wow. You know, I'd love to get my hands on that thing, and I got a few. I have a few umpire.
Yeah, it's performance. It's performance fleece.
I know. Yeah, you mentioned that. I have a few umpire bucks burning a hole in my pocket right now.
Oh, good. 'Cause, yeah, you're gonna need about 28.5 umpire bucks for this puppy.
Man, it's a little steep.
You look like your skin looks goosebumpy and cold. See, I'm used to this dot matrix printer paper blanket. I don't need much. I'm not a fancy guy. But for those people that need something a little fancy, they're not quite able to be acclimated, yeah, you're going to need something extra. But, I mean, I got you covered. It's okay.
What if I give you 25 umpire bucks for it?
Oh, sorry, I just dozed off there for a second. In fact, I think I'm just going to go roll over and go right back to sleep. You have a good night, sir.
Fine, I'll pay you 28.5.
Oh, sure. Okay, sure, fine, yeah. Just go ahead and grab it.
Went back to sleep, I guess. I curled up with the warm blanket and said my prayers. I prayed to my Savior, Jesus Christ, that he bless and keep me in the palm of his hand. I also prayed for a pair of sweatpants, or anything that would cover up my exposed pale penis. Okay, this is day 2. How you doing, everybody? We were all of us campers in the barrack. We were awoken with a start this morning over the loudspeakers of the camp. Take Me Out, an old-timey rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game was blasting out of the speakers. I think you can still hear a little bit of it right now. It's still playing. It's been playing for 15 minutes straight. We still haven't seen any of the teachers. On our pamphlets, it actually says, before breakfast this morning, we all have an hour of free play. It says, so we can just do whatever we want. Some people are playing Jenga. There's a couple of guys just staring longingly out of a window. Most of the guys are just sitting around playing dominoes, completely silently. One guy's just laying face down on his bed. Like, do you remember planking? It's like he's just that kind of posture, just like laying straight down on his bed. There's a couple of guys having a thumb war in the corner. Another guy's running a how to tie-dye a t-shirt workshop. I'm very excited because today I actually have an interview set up with Rudy Muzichenko, the guy that's in charge of this whole place. I'm really excited to learn more about him and his work and how to be an umpire. Today was the day that I would crack this baby wide open. I didn't know what that meant, but I heard someone say it once on an episode of NCIS Las Vegas. Either way, one thing was for sure. I was interviewing the namesake of the camp, Rudy Muzichenko, and I'd hoped I'd live to tell the tale. Okay, I'm here on the baseball diamond by myself.
Who's that?
Rudy? Hi, Rudy. It's
Who's over there?
It's Gordon Fishman.
I see somebody creeping over there on me.
No, remember we were gonna do an interview now. Are you still okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you for meeting me here.
Yeah. I'm organizing my Beckett's. I got a hell of a lot of Beckett's back here.
He's got a whole big pile of Beckett's, and if you're a trading card aficionado,
Yeah, okay.
Beckett is.
A-Rod rookie card. A-Rod rookie card.
Rudy was engulfed by a plume of smoke. He was perusing a 7-foot-tall stack of Beckett's, which are magazines that publish the value of sport trading cards.
Yes. I see. Most people collect baseball cards for baseball players. I only collect baseball cards from umpires, which I bet you didn't even know it existed.
Wow, but you're talking. So you're saying.
Baseball cards, man.
So you're saying that there's baseball cards for umpires.
Baseball cards, right? Yes, baseball cards. Yes,
Wow.
Baseball cards, right? Yes, baseball cards.
Okay, well that's great. So
Welcome to my office. Have a seat.
I'm in Rudy Muzichenko's office right now, which is basically just a small dugout next to the baseball field. It's not the regular dugout. It's a sort of separate little dugout. Everything looks to be made of gold or gold-colored. And, we're sitting in here. There's 2 chairs. It kind of has an emergency bunker feel in here.
Yeah, welcome.
Well, thanks so much for doing this, Rudy. He's smoking a cigar.
Yeah. Who the hell are you talking to?
Well, I'm just talking into my little recorder
Who
right
the heck are you talking to?
It's so I can record our
What the
conversation.
hell is this thing?
It's for a radio show that I do with my
Is that
partner.
some kind of iPod Nano?
Well, I think a lot of people would be interested in knowing what you do because you're a very interesting guy.
I'm just a little concerned because this guy shows up in my office with a little black box. Looks like he's trying to record me.
Well, yes, I am. I am recording you. Well, thank you for having me. I'm enjoying myself so far. It's my lifelong.
Yeah, you're having a good time right now, but just wait.
It seems like it's starting to get pretty rough. I mean, I can see that it's an intense, sort of. It's not. You don't become an umpire overnight. What I've learned. I had learned that you don't become an umpire overnight. I shared this revelation with Rudy. As shocking and unbelievable as it was, I had to face it head on. I also had to use the bathroom. Tell me about your first year as an umpire. Give me a little bit of the backstory of Rudy Muzichenko. Rudy let out a long guttural groan, the kind caused by decades of eating sunflower seeds.
Well, here's the thing about me. A lot of people know me. They don't know how I got started, though. I'm gonna tell you now. It all started back in 1965. I was working in a circus peanut factory. It's a factory that makes circus peanuts. The candy. The treat. My mom used to give me that treat when I was a kid. Right after I got my worker's permit, she sent me away to work at the factory. So I did. I never played baseball, never watched baseball. Didn't even know what baseball was. See, I come from a low-income family. Real low income. I'm talking pennies. I guess what I'm getting at is I never actually played baseball. Didn't know what baseball even freaking was. Okay?
I thought that was amazing. Wow, that's amazing. I wondered how Rudy got into the umpire game to begin with. So I asked him, how did you get into the umpire game?
If you let me continue, I'm getting there. Okay? It takes a while. We're only in 1965 at this point. You're really jumpy, aren't you? Where did you come from? Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and if I seem jumpy, it's only because I'm really excited to be around you and all these great umpires here.
So my whole backstory is I basically, I worked at the circus peanut warehouse for a long time, a real long time, until I got tenure. Once you get tenure, you get the golden peanut. I reached the status of the golden peanut, and I thought I made it, I thought that was it. Then I realized there was more to life than just old circus peanuts and pennies. So I went on a journey. I got in my dad's old van, and I drove around. And that's kind of a side story. Nothing really happened because of that, but I did that for like 6 months or so. I drank a shitload of Milwaukee's Best. Your pale skin looks like you never even seen a Milwaukee's Best. With the way you look like. You look like a freaking fresh virgin skin boy.
Rudy was right. I didn't know what a Milwaukee's Best was, and I do look like a virgin skin boy. His comments cut deep to the bone. I figured this was how all big league umps joked around in the locker room. I imagined I was a real ump and pictured us taking a shower together and talking about the big game. I'm having a great time and I'm learning a lot.
So anyway, after the peanut factory job, I got hooked up with a group of young teen marauding unicyclers, and we decided to saddle up and we would take our unicycles down to the lake, to Lake Erie, and we would eat cotton candy and we would drive around, we would ride our unicycles around and do stunts for people. To this point, I still never even seen a baseball.
I thought it was a very interesting story.
That's a very interesting story, jeez.
But I wondered how he came to baseball. So I asked.
How did you come to baseball?
Yeah, okay, well, I was riding around on my unicycle doing stunts like I normally did down on Lake Erie in the dock. All of a sudden, I seen one of the big barges. It dumped one of the cans, those big storage containers. I seen it fall off. Whole crew on the ship's going nuts trying to save this storage container. And I'm looking, I see it. And I'm thinking, man, those guys are fucked, Good luck explaining this one to the boss. This storage container washes up onto the beach. And me and my young group of friends, we're thinking we're going to be rich because we're going to, take all the contents of this can and just sell it down, hawk it down on 185th Street. Come to find out inside the can is just a bunch of baseballs. So I see the people on the ship waving at me, yelling, screaming. Their whole livelihood's washed up in this can. So what do? I pick up a baseball. I never seen one in my life. And I start chucking them at the boat. And I kid you not, I chucked every single baseball. There was 10,000 of them. I chucked every single one of them back to the boat. Just so happens that A minor league baseball scout was at the dock that day with his family. They seen me chucking these baseballs. Guy says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "What do you mean? What am I doing? I'm working down here. What the hell are you doing?" And he says, "Listen, I'm a scout." I said, "Congratulations. I'm Muzzychenko," is what I tells him. He tells me, "Okay." And I said, "Okay, what else?" And he says, "Listen, you ever think about playing baseball?" I says to him, "The hell you talking about?" He said, "Well, you got a penny on. I figured maybe you a baseball player." I said, "Never heard of the damn thing." I said, "What's a baseball?" He said, "Those things, those 10,000 things you've been hurling, them are baseballs." So I says, "No kidding, huh? Okay, no kidding." He said, "Yeah, I'm not kidding." I said, "Okay, no kidding." He said, "Okay, I'm not kidding." I said, "Okay, good, because there's no kidding." Once we laid the ground rules out about no kidding, he wasn't kidding, I wasn't kidding. Decided to get down to brass tacks. He says, "Listen, I'm the scout. I got a minor league baseball team up in the Cuyahoga River, by the Cuyahoga River. We call it Cuyahoga River Mudlarks. You should come be a part of our baseball team." And I says, "You telling me these balls, they got a whole sport associated with these balls?"
Rudy was finally opening up to me about his past. Even though my bathroom situation was slowly moving from a yellow zone to a red zone bathroom situation, I decided to dive deeper down the wormhole.
So you start playing for this minor league baseball club, and you're in the system.
Yep.
You're in the system playing. So tell me about playing. What position did you play? How did you learn the game?
Well, I was just a city boy, but I went down all the way to the Cuyahoga River on my unicycle. It took me 10 days to get down there on my damn unicycle.
10 days to get. It took you 10 days to get down there.
Yeah, I'm a stunt guy. I'm not a long distance guy. Okay, on my unicycle. It takes a long time on a unicycle. You got to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until finally you get there.
Where did you sleep along the way?
To be honest with you, I don't really recall. This was a phase when I was drinking a hell of a lot of Cutty Sark, okay, in a brown frickin' paper bag. I still drink it. It's not bad stuff.
Did you have to go down to the circus peanut factory and quit?
Yeah, I put my 10 days in at the circus peanut factory. Yeah, I took my 10 days.
So you took your 10-day notice at the circus peanut, and then it took 10 days to get to the field. So we're talking 20 days.
Yeah, yep.
So anyway, you get there, you show up, you're playing baseball.
I had a union suit and a penny on.
A union suit. So that's the thing with where the butt flap comes off, like an old school pajama kind of thing with a butt flap.
I guess so. This was my normal clothes up to this point. But yeah,
you had a union suit, and then the penny went over top the union suit.
That's me, and my whole family wore that one every day. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. At this point, it had probably been 6 months to a year since I had taken a shower. So I decided I was going to take a shower. And then I got me and 20 other guys taking a shower together. And they're all watching me, and I'm watching them. Nothing happened, but that's that's my first kind of shocker, you know? I was real smelly.
I started to notice the striking correlation between umpires and large groups of men showering together. I don't know what it meant, but I noticed it.
Then they gave me a brand new set of clothes, a uniform. So I ditched my penny, I ditched my union suit. I'm wearing this uniform every freaking day. Even when I wasn't playing baseball, I'm wearing this uniform. It's the only outfit I got. I played outfield, left field. They called me Cyclin' Rudy, and I could catch a ball from freaking all over the place.
So you actually, during games, were on your unicycle?
Yep. And also, they had a listing. They had at seventh inning stretch. They had this competition between all the condiments. You know, the mayonnaise and the ketchup and the mustard, and who's gonna win. They needed somebody to play the ketchup. I figured, hey, you know what? I could use the extra bread. So I was also the ketchup. I would dress up as the ketchup guy. I was on that team for probably 10 years, and then at one point, they just shut the team down. The team was no more. Eventually, I just decided maybe I would try to be an umpire. I've taken all my years of baseball experience and knowledge, which is vast. It's very, very vast. It's supremely vast. And I've applied it to this fantasy camp. So I bought an old grassy knoll right behind the peanut. If you look off into the distance, you'll see that smokestack over there in the distance there. Look at that.
Yeah, what is it?
That's the peanut factory right there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right here, man. I tell my guys at the peanut factory, look out your window. This why my office here, the dugout, it faces the factory. Because I tell those guys, I say, look out here. And I flick them off when they're on their lunch breaks. And I say, hey, you know what? Fuck yous. You know, you guys are still in there working and shit. And sometimes I'll invite them down to the locker room and we'll watch. They each pay $20 and we can watch everybody shower. Because all the people here.
I was starting to learn the whole story behind this fantasy camp. I thought that was good, because if his story had gone on any longer, I may have had to use my own pants as a toilet. But then I remembered I wasn't even wearing any pants.
At first, it was a circus peanut fantasy camp, and then it was a unicycle fantasy camp, and it slowly morphed into an umpire fantasy camp. And so that's what we have today. We have a full-fledged umpire fantasy boot camp. It's a fantasy camp, but it's a boot camp. Everybody here goes to work in the majors. I just kind of hang out in my dugout and howl at the moon. This kind of thing is my own little, it's my piece de resistance, it's my coup d'etat, it's my, what's that painting with the lady who looks like she's an angry Mona Lisa? It's my Mona Lisa, okay? You are witnessing my Mona frickin' Lisa, you bastard. And anybody that wants to come in here and speak negatively, they'll get put in the dungeon. I got a dungeon. And that shit fucking sucks. So, you decide.
Rudy started talking about some dungeon or something, which sounded weird, but it was finally the end of the interview. Rudy extinguished his cigar, and I slipped out of his office and squatted behind a bush to go toilet.
Okay, so this is the first official day of camp. We're all still in our pennies, completely naked, other than the penny. And it looks like we're all lining up. It looks like there's a table set up with one of the umpires behind it, Slim Teschner.
Oh, yeah. Hey, welcome, everybody. Yeah, welcome.
This was my first face-to-face encounter with Slim Teschner, a 300-pound man with eyes that were small and beady like a snake. His chins went on for days, and his baseball cap sat high atop his head, barely touching his skull.
There's an informational placard here next to the table, and it says, "Welcome to the smell test. You're about to smell a lot of items that pertain to baseball, where we will blindfold you, and you will smell the items and tell us what they
Yeah,
are."
let me put a blindfold on you. Okay, close your eyes. I'm putting a blindfold on.
Okay, he's putting a blindfold on me. So basically, Slim, you're gonna hand me an item, and I'm going to smell it and tell you what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great. So I'm ready for the first item. I can't see anything. Putting out my hand.
Okay, smell this.
The enormous man placed a sticky and oily dab of goo on my nose, and I breathed deep to try and identify what it was.
That smells... Gosh, it smells like a little bit of dirt. I'm getting a little bit of pine tar smell.
Bingo!
So is this a baseball mitt?
No, it's pine tar.
Oh, it's just pine tar. Okay, cool. So I'm ready for item number 2. Okay,
What do you think that smells like?
that smells of CK1 cologne. It smells of a little bit of bacon smell. It smells to me like that's maybe a hanky that's been dipped in CK1 cologne and bacon juice.
The foul pole.
A foul pole.
Yeah.
A piece of a foul pole?
It's a piece of foul pole.
Okay, cool. Well, okay. One for 2 so far. I'm ready for item number 3. Okay, that smells... I'm getting a little hint of Raisin Bran. I'm getting a little hint of old shrimp.
Hey, kid.
I'm sorry?
Hey, leather from a shoe.
You didn't let me guess. Okay, well, it's leather from a shoe that smells like old shrimp
It's a
and
cleat. Leather from a cleat.
leather from a cleat. Slim, real
This
quick.
is Babe Ruth's cleat.
This is Babe Ruth's cleat?
Yeah.
Wow. Slim, real quick before we go on to item number 4, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Close your eyes.
Well, I'm wearing a blindfold, so I really can't see anything.
I can tell that your eyes are open.
Well, he's right, folks. My eyes were open under here. I still can't see anything, though. Okay, I'm ready for item number 4.
I was all set to sniff out the next item when the fat man started to go into detail about what this whole smell test was about. It made me wonder why he didn't lead with this. I listened anyway.
The whole thing about being an umpire is being able to identify all the feels of the stadium. So pieces of leather, the foul pole, and other items which I won't mention because we're not done with this yet. But everything has a smell. You gotta be able to identify the smell. You gotta be able to pick out the smells and the tastes and the sounds. This all factors into that. So you're gonna get, this is the part where you hone in on your senses. Make sure we get the good smells. The smells of the field. That's my expertise.
Okay, wow, that's
Next
great.
item. Keep your eyes closed. Next item.
They're closed under the blindfold. I'm ready for item number 4.
You're gonna have to breathe real deep on this one. It's very nuanced.
Okay, here we go. I'm a little nervous. Ooh, that's pretty gross. It smells like,
This item smelled like a century of farts packed into a small cotton ball. I really wanted to get this over with, but the fat man had his hand around my scrawny neck.
oh, God. You know, I think I know what this is. It smells like sort of, a human being's undercarriage.
Yeah, it's close. Keep going.
I think this is a jock strap.
Yo, we call them girdles. That's my girdle.
Wow, that's gross.
This one's been lived in. I wore this one for 3 years of Major League Baseball. I didn't change it. I'm superstitious.
Well, thank you, Slim. Okay, there's a lot of activities today. Let's see what else we got.
Sweat was pouring down the enormous man's face as I hurried away from him. I felt like I had been through war, and I was on to my next battle, to continue my mission of being a Major League Baseball umpire.
I see. I'm just looking at all the informational placards here. There's yelling and spitting class. There is sweeping the plate class. There's another informational placard that just says all umpires get to watch players take showers. And then we're gonna march back to our bunks, have some gruel, and go to bed.
The rest of the evening was a blur to me. I was so exhausted and sore from the day that I just wanted to curl up with my performance fleece blanket and go to sleep. But, in the middle of the night, I was awoken when a group of the umpires surrounded another camper in their bunk.
The fellow camper that I met on the first day, right when I got here, the umpires have strapped him down on a gurney, and he's freaking out. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, I don't know what that noise was. Okay, they've strapped him down, and he's screaming, and they just put a baseball in his mouth. They're putting him in the back of an old school station wagon with like the wood paneling on the side. Rudy is livid. I guess the camper freaked out during the night, and I don't know what's going on, but I'm starting to get scared. I don't know what this is.
I was shaken to my core, but I knew I was going to have to see this thing through to the end.
Okay, so now we're all outside. There's no mention of what just happened to that guy, but we're just going to kind of forge ahead here. There's an informational placard here, and it says the first thing we're going to do today is Steaks and Balls lesson. There's only one person here crying, which is pretty good. Usually it's more than one. So here the umpires come. Looks like they're about to jump into the Steaks and Balls lesson. So there's 3 umpires here. There's a main umpire. I think it's the white man, who I haven't seen since when I first got here. He's standing in front of a smaller group of other umpires, and they're going to give us a demonstration about how to properly say strike and how to properly say ball, which I guess is what they mean by steak and ball. The white man has stepped forward, and
the white man wheeled forward a very old television on a cart, the kind they have in kindergarten classrooms. He pushed play on a dusty old VCR, and then looked with a zombie-like stare into the screen as the video started to play. The video showed a lineup of umpires that were dressed in 80s clothing. They were standing on top of brightly colored sports cars, frantically gesturing ball and strike calls. Finally, a muscular man with a bushy mustache walked forward and started talking to the camera.
One of the most important things about umpiring a baseball game is calling balls and strikes. And we have a certain stance and position that we do this in. We don't just hide behind the catcher and let the ball come in. From here, we bend at the knees. We keep both heels on the ground when we bend.
Here's a demonstration of calling balls and strikes. On the ball call, you stay down and say ball.
I was not finding this video to be very informative. It was telling me things that anyone who had ever watched baseball would instantly know. I'm not sure why someone would make a video outlining such basic and obvious things.
To call an out from this position, what we do is we stand straight up to use our height. We raise our right arm up, parallel to the ground, about shoulder length up, and we snap the wrist off. From here, that snap of the wrist is put in unison with voice. So an out call should look something like this. Set.
No other words have been said to us from the umpires other than ball and strike or steak. There was no explanation of what would happen here, but I guess this is what this is. I mean, we're not learning much here other than just how to say strike and ball.
Everyone else watching the video seemed to be in a trance. I had a bad feeling about this video. I decided to turn and run away. I was grabbing my buttocks as I ran away, to trick the umpires into thinking I was having a toilet emergency.
Okay, so now, you guessed it, we're back in a single file line going on to the next event, and there's another informational placard. We're still in completely naked other than the penny. This one, this placard just says how to properly wear the umpire uniform. And it's basically, it looks what it looks to be mannequins, about 10 mannequins, just all in a line, are fully decked out in umpire outfits. I'm talking like the big chest protector, you know, the face mask, the little hat, the shirt, the pants. There's none of the umpires are here. It's just us campers standing across from just a row of mannequins. There's a little bucket next to the mannequins that says piss bucket, and I don't know why that's there, but I guess if anyone has to go to the bathroom. One of the mannequins is smiling, and you know, that kind of reflects how I feel about this whole thing. It's pretty cool. So right next to the mannequins, there's another placard. Looks like the next event. Again, none of the umpires are in sight, but the placard says how to keep up your nutrients during the big game. And there's a few more buckets filled with gum, Go-Gurt, stuff like that. There's a little sign pointing to one of the mannequins' pockets that says food go in here. And so I guess they're telling you the appropriate pocket to use for your Go-Gurt or your Slim Jims.
I found this lesson to be very helpful because of my deep love for Slim Jims and candy nerds. I tried to eat some of the treats, but all of the packages were filled with dried up gruel.
Okay, we're back in the single file line now, going down next to the right field fence here. There's a placard, again. It says what to do during rain delays. And there's a table set up with there's a child here, actually, just pointing at the table. He's saying gibberish. He's wearing he's wearing a Bugle Boy sweatshirt and sweatpants. Hi, son. What's your name?
Alex.
Hi, Alex. And so I guess on this table here, there's a Game Boy. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, I'm gonna walk over. This child is scaring me. I'm gonna walk down here. There's just a large table with just a Game Boy, an old Game Boy in the middle of it, and I guess this is just to say that we should have a Game Boy on us if there's a rain delay.
I couldn't get my mind off what had happened to my friend, whom the umpires carried off so abruptly earlier that morning. His name was Julio, and I longed for him. After all, he kept my body warm by selling me the performance fleece blanket. All of the good times he and I had together this weekend were playing in my head like an old black and white film.
So, I'm going to kind of break away from the group here really quick. This might be dangerous. I'm a little worried, but, I want to know what happened to him. And I'm walking towards another barracks. It's not the one we're sleeping in, but there's another barracks here. And it looks, that station wagon that I saw earlier is parked outside of it. Okay, I'm going to have to get really quiet now. I'm walking in.
I pulled open a heavy metal dungeon-like door, stepping inside of the dank barrack.
It looks like a submarine in here. There's a bunch of ladders and hatches and buttons and switches. Okay, I'm walking. There's a small door here. I see a small little trail of sunflower seeds, so I'm going to follow it.
I was hot on the trail. I imagined I was the blonde lady detective with large breasts from the television program NCIS Las Vegas.
Well, geez, if only you could see me right now, completely naked, in a penny, in an old army barracks that looks like a submarine, following a trail of eaten sunflower seeds. Okay, I'm opening a small hatch here. I'm opening. This is where the sunflower seeds lead, so...
I walked into the creepy room and saw my friend Julio strapped to a metal table. He was being forced to watch a video on an old TV. It looked similar to the video I watched earlier, except this version was much more disturbing.
Oh my God. What do they have him watching? Hey, are you okay? Are you okay, man? Are you okay?
Steak ball. Steak ball.
He's watching some sort of baseball video that's like sort of an abstract footage of bats hitting balls and umpires looking into the camera, pointing into the camera, and it's very fast paced, and it looks like some sort of brainwashing thing. What have they done to you? Are you okay? Do you need to get out of here? Oh my God, this place is okay. They're obviously trying to brainwash him into being a good umpire. I don't know what's going on here.
I thought I was about to solve this baffling case, but right as I was about to sweep the area for clues and fingerprints, just like in the television program NCIS Las Vegas, I heard footsteps coming down the hallway.
I'm sorry, man. I have to go. I have to get out of here. I'm sorry to leave you here. I'll try to get you out later. Oh my God. I gotta get out of here. I gotta stop recording. I'm so scared right now. I have to go back to my barracks and go to bed. Oh my God. I'm so glad tomorrow's my last day.
I just needed to get through one more night. There was no sleeping for me. I lay awake, stroking my performance fleece blanket and thinking about how generous and kind Julio was to me. I started picturing me, Julio, and his whole family hanging out in a park, having a barbecue.
Okay, it's day 3. We're all outside, naked. Penny. It's starting to rain. My penny is chafing me everywhere. I'm starting to get a cold. It's pretty dire here. Okay, we're moving again in single file to our next event or program or whatever you want to call it. Oh my God.
Just as I was about to give up all hope, I spot my oldest friend in camp, Julio. He was back from the evil barracks, but he looked different. His eyes were hollow, and he couldn't remember our cool best friend's handshake, but it was him.
He just seems to be saying ball and steak under his breath.
Steak, ball, steak, ball.
Oh my God. I just gotta get through today. Okay, there's another informational placard here that says how to discipline ball boys, and it's run by the white man. We're all standing in a circle around the white man. The young boy that I saw earlier in the Bugle Boy sweatshirt is entering the circle. He's now standing next to the white man, and the white man just gave him a noogie. Okay, so here we go. I guess here's today's lesson: how to discipline a ball boy. Here we go. Here's the white man.
Never let them get away with anything. You gotta make sure you're always on top of it. And you gotta make sure that they're never gonna do anything and the ball gets away. You gotta make sure you stop it. And everybody's gotta make sure they don't let the ball boys do anything they're not supposed to be doing. By the way, the ball boys...
This man would normally make me very uncomfortable, but from the things I had already experienced at camp, this was very low on the scale of things that make me uncomfortable. After all, I was basically naked except for a small penny.
You gotta make sure you discipline them hard and spank them and put them on the butt and make sure...
Oh my god, and now the white man and the little boy are just walking away. The next event is how to deal with female fans. And then after that, we have how to lock up the stadium after a game. It says here that after every professional Major League ball game, the umpire is actually the one who stays and locks up after everyone leaves and turns off the lights. I didn't know that. So I guess this just tells us how to do that. It just goes to show you how all-encompassing and intense the job of an umpire really is. I mean, it's from morning until night. It's not just during the game. That's my big takeaway from the weekend. Okay, and then after that, I guess, is the shimmying up the foul pole class. I guess that's just a class where everyone learns how to shimmy up a foul pole, in case that they ever need that. And from what I understand, shimmy means to kind of climb something very quickly, like a little monkey or something.
That day, I shimmied like I never knew I could shimmy. I was a wild animal, making my way through the rainforest and into the bright sunlight.
We're sitting Indian style in the grass. All of the umpires are lined up, and now they're going to teach us the umpire pledge. So they're going to say it, and then we have to recite it after they say it. So here we go. The umpire pledge. I wonder what this is all about.
I've never been much for chanting, but since all of the umpires said I wasn't allowed to leave until I chanted, you better believe that I chanted my sweet little ass off.
I am an umpire. I will always be an umpire. Whether rain nor shine, whether yelling steak or ball, I will keep track of the outs and the hits and everything on a little click thing I have in my pocket. I will provide fresh baseballs from a little sack, even when my little head hits my little pillow. I am still an umpire then. Steaks and balls are my calls. Strike 3, you're out of there.
So we just finished our umpire pledge, and that's something I'll never forget. You know, it hits me in my heart. It's been a long, weird weekend, but I've learned a lot. So now graduation is just in 5 minutes here. The weekend is coming to a close. There's going to be some graduation festivities. Seth is on his way to pick me up right now. Everyone's tired. We're still naked, still in our pennies. We're all walking towards a covered bridge that's over a little creek, and that's, I guess, where the graduation ceremony is going to be. So we're all kind of huddled here in a little corner of the bridge. We're just waiting for the umpires. Okay, so I'm back. They won't let me record the graduation ceremony, but let me tell you what happened. So we're all standing around, and all the umpires are giving us high fives, and everyone's happy, and they told us to take off our pennies, and everyone has like a weird farmer's tan from the penny, and we're just standing there naked, and all the umpires told us to be quiet, and then they just stared at us for a while in total silence on this weird covered bridge. They had us, there was a big oil drum just sitting there with, they told us to throw our pennies in there, and then we set the pennies on fire in the oil drum. I guess that's just a ritual they have here. So we got rid of our pennies, and they each handed us our own commemorative placard with our name on it, and what looks also to be like an itemized receipt engraved into the placard itself, which is odd. I guess it was to save money. I don't see how it would save money to actually engrave the entire receipt into a placard. But anyway, they made us sign some sort of confidentiality agreement. None of us even read it. We just want to get the hell out of here. Lord knows what that thing says. But now, I'm just waiting for Seth to come pick me up. I tried to say goodbye to Rudy Muzichenko, but apparently he fled earlier, right after the graduation, and left in a hot air balloon. That's weird. As Rudy Muzichenko took off in the hot air balloon, I knew I would never see my $3,000 again. Just a reminder, that's how much I paid to do all of this. That hard, cold fact sunk into my brain like a 1 million pound anvil. I had seen a 1 million pound golden anvil in the television program NCIS Las Vegas. It's just me and one other guy here, and we're just sitting waiting to be picked up. I'm tired. And I'm naked. We feel like a couple of latchkey kids, waiting for Mom to get off work. As I sat there, crying and listening to people whistle Take Me Out to the Ball Game, I wondered if Seth would have any aloe vera that I could put on my sunburns. I also looked down and remembered that I was now completely naked. But somehow, I was just a little less pale.
Wow. Are you okay? Is everything okay?
Yeah, I mean...
What an incredible report there.
Thank you very much.
Nice work on that. Everybody in here is like, I'm looking at their faces.
Yeah.
Everybody in here is utterly shocked. I don't suppose you have any kind of updates.
Thank you. And, well, I mean, updates? Yeah, I guess there's a couple updates.
Let's hear them. I mean, anything that's new to add, I want to know.
I mean,
any kind of follow-up, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Just a couple updates. They're being the camp is being investigated by the FBI. They're shutting it down. Turns out Rudy Muzichenko was never a real umpire, and during the entirety of the camp, he would watch people shower on a private shower cam. Apparently, the whole thing live streamed to a website called "Oh my gosh, that's an umpire showering.com." Oh, and I guess there's a helpline to call for like anyone who's been assaulted by him. I guess I don't know the number, but anyway.
Well, you had a nice time.
I had a great time, so that's all.
You look great. You lost 20 pounds.
I know. I really, yeah.
And we just want to let everybody know about our website, which is going to be launching here in about a year and a half.
Yeah, about a year and a half.
The programmers are hard at work, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're cranking out numbers. I've seen them coding.
Yeah, I've been looking over their shoulders, and they're doing phenomenal.
They're doing phenomenal work. There's little icons for you to click on. It's interactive. There's pictures.
Multimedia.
All of our merchandise will be on there.
Yeah.
Year and a half, 2 years, 3 tops.
3 tops.
But
maybe 4, but...
Yeah,
no, it won't
be 4. It won't be 4.
It's like
possible.
Maybe
4. Yeah. But you'll see it at some point. Thanks again, everyone, for coming here to the live show, for listening to that report. What a fantastic report that was.
Again, thank you for the compliment, and let me thank everyone in advance in the audience for all the compliments you'll probably give me after this is done recording.
I don't know. No one's required to do that.
Well,
just want to say that out loud.
I just probably tell that they will. So thanks everyone, and thanks for listening at home.
Okay. And we want to say, how you doing?
And we love you.
Thanks for staying with us. We love you.
We'll see you next time.
And we're going to go ahead and hit that little stop button on the tape recorder, and that'll be the end of the show.
Okay, I'm going to shake the dust off my hand, lift it high up into the air, and then bring it down very slowly until I hit the stop button right now.